almost like fine. And you can sit in this, right?
Jeune fois d'office, troisième. Yeah.
We are back.
What?
We are back.
We are back? Yeah.
Back.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the break.
Okay. Understand.
Can you call a little Frank? A
Yeah.
little Frank.
Okay. What does freedom means for you?
For me, freedom is the ability to trust, to total trust, without giving any opportunities to the mind to make any commentaries or to change something. So this freedom of the total, like very powerful flow of trust, because the images in which these situations or
Mike?
Right.
It's on.
Yeah, no? It's not on?
Can you check? Sorry.
hello,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. You can see here. Can you
No,
speak?
it was not
Yes,
there
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this very powerful flow of freedom, of trust, because this help and the situations that are going to occur, you never know in which images they're going to be. And if you have fear of at least something, you cannot be free. Your path is not free. You are not happy because somewhere it is hiding, and somewhere you cannot deal with something the way you should. So for me, this freedom is the total freedom from fear, of course. And if you are free from all of the fears, you are free to trust. Freedom to trust.
And what is the way for find the freedom?
To find the freedom. For me, it was always like this. I just pack my backpack and I go into the mountains. I go into the forest alone. With the time I was feeling the most miserable in my life, I was packing a backpack, taking the train, which was 24 hours, and going to, I have some places of power in the world and in my country as well. So this one village in the forest, in the mountains, it was always like a challenge you go inside of the forest, you go inside of the mountains, and you come out like after 2-3 days a completely different person, because exactly there you face everything. Because like to find the freedom is to find the perfect situations and moments to face these problems as soon as possible, like as much as possible, because more or less, like 2 more or 10 more, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is to face all of the fear, face all the doubts, and to understand the root why, and to dissolve them with like your power of will, with your understanding, with your consciousness, and then you are free like this naturally. Yeah.
The pleasure, it's the way, and the discipline too. Yeah. So how to can meet pleasure and discipline?
It's a very nice question. Because one and another are really like 2 hands of one. And the thing is that I've been talking about this very thin line, like because all the presence in the spiritual being is like the presence on the top of the mountain, on the like the most top, on this thin point in between. When you are like mature enough and conscious enough to deal with one and to deal with another and to deal with one and another as a professional. If you are the professional in pleasures and if you are professional in discipline, then you can combine that all. That's why the people are going to ashrams to practice discipline, for example, yes, to have more and more practice, so that at one point they become a master of discipline, and then they can create their own like surface where is the balance between this discipline and pleasure. Some people are born with a discipline codex in themselves. So I think that this is also like a non-written codex of constant practice, because if you're healthy, that means you're in the discipline. If your body is feeling nice, that means that you live a disciplinary life. If you are somewhere not healthy, this means that like there is a problem. So actually, the people who just live and lead their happy life, being healthy every moment of their life, they are balancing. And this is like the reflection of how can we know, is it true or not? Only through this. Very simple.
Very simple.
Very simple.
Be disciplined.
Yeah.
Be disciplined, very simple.
Yeah, and of course, very important is always to, if you feel somewhere the laziness, all the laziness should be dissolved. This is the most important if we are talking about the discipline, because the laziness is the best friend of the mind. They are like teamwork, very nice, you know, supporting each other, very good. So we just push away all the, and it was the best if you feel like the voice which tells you, oh, better I do it like tomorrow, and you're like touching it and you're saying, no, 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 I'm doing it not only now, I'm doing it this moment and more better. You just like fight it every day, and then it dissolves, and then really all comes that we are talking about. In the discipline and the pleasures, in it's like Zen Buddhism. It's like the art of not doing. I love it. I love, because this is amazing. Because our hands, our feet, us, we can do so many. We can create so many beautiful things during our long life. So many, so that maybe the whole world can be full with it. And this is what I really want people to be inspired to do. Like not first they come all this long path to come to themselves, to start and finally doing, because like we cannot sit forever, you know. A time like for, I think like really that the time for creating has come.
Why creation is so important?
Because so much of destruction which is going on now, actually, because first the distraction, and the second one, there is so much of awful creation today, not beautiful, ugly, and in opposite to this, just with your example to show how beautiful things can be made. Why creation? Because a human being cannot be happy when he doesn't have things where he's feeling the self-realization. The self-realization is only felt when the person feels that with his energy, with his presence, some things are appearing, some things are working well, and this gives him this he's satisfied. Only with this kind of satisfaction he can continue living a healthy life, because all we do, all our search is the search of this purest and deepest self-realization, where everything we have is perfectly made for some situation or for some object that the person is doing from it. So I think it's and it's uniting people, and this is also very important.
The balance.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Are you experiencing some mystical experience?
Of course, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you explain one?
I can. Like it's usually it's connected to while I'm doing pujas. It's always a mystical experience because in one of the last, the person with whom I've been doing the yagya in the forest between the 7 oaks in a very, very powerful place in Ukraine. We did a beautiful fire. There was already on the fire when we came, there was already a dead mouse lying, just like white. And I was like, I'm sorry, what does it mean? But we did this fire and also put salt and all the things, and the smoke was full of incense. And during this fire, all my past lives came up, and the person who sat like in front saw all of those people looking on him very strictly, and just like more and more and more and more and more and more one time. And it was the first person who told me who those people was actually and how they looked like, what was their origin, and from there I understood from where I have this or that skills. That it was a question, and I found like an answer for this. And recently in Thailand, I've been also doing one very nice fire ritual with all of the babas from Mahakumbh Mela. I found it's strange because I found the pack with babas.